The NBA world is buzzing with a story that feels almost surreal, a move that nobody expected, and yet somehow makes perfect sense when you connect all the dots. Kevin Porter Jr., who had been linked with the Milwaukee Bucks in recent months and even wore their jersey in preseason appearances, is now being whispered about as the newest reinforcement of the Los Angeles Lakers. Fans are shaking their heads, insiders are raising eyebrows, and rival teams are quietly recalculating strategies. The rumor didn't come from a press release or a bold announcement, but rather from a series of conversations, anonymous tips, and subtle clues that have surfaced in the past week. Lakers supporters are already imagining him in purple and gold, filling highlight reels with step-back jumpers, explosive drives, and fearless shot-making. While nothing is officially confirmed, the smoke is thick enough that many are treating this as more than idle chatter. What's fascinating is how Porter's career arc, full of twists, second chances, and debates about untapped potential, seems tailor-made for a Hollywood script. And if Hollywood is the stage, there's no brighter spotlight than the Lakers, a franchise that thrives on dramatic narratives and unexpected reinventions. The possible arrival of Kevin Porter Jr. to Los Angeles adds yet another layer to a roster already dripping with intrigue. The Lakers have been criticized in the past for lacking depth behind their main stars, and every season the conversation circles back to how they can maximize LeBron James' remaining prime years. Adding Porter, with his combination of creativity, speed, and sheer unpredictability, could inject a new rhythm into the team's offensive identity. Observers note that Porter has always been a player who thrives with the ball in his hands, someone who can create his own shot under pressure or break down defenses with quick bursts. On a Lakers squad, often accused of being too reliant on set plays and predictable patterns, this injection of raw individuality might be exactly what the coaching staff has been looking for. Critics, however, argue that Porter's past inconsistencies and off-court noise might not mesh well with a locker room trying to stay stable. But if there's one place where troubled or doubted players have found a way to rewrite their story, it's in Los Angeles. The Lakers are not just a team. They're a machine built to handle attention, expectation, and risk-taking. What makes this rumor even juicier is the timeline of events leading up to it. Just a few weeks ago, Kevin Porter Jr. was being touted as a hidden weapon for the Milwaukee Bucks, a player who could give Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard another scoring option when defenses collapsed. His fit there seemed logical, a bench scorer who could create mismatches and provide relief in second units. Then, out of nowhere, whispers started suggesting that Porter wasn't entirely comfortable with his role in Milwaukee, that his camp was quietly looking for a market that could better showcase his talents. Some insiders even hinted that Los Angeles had been monitoring his situation long before these discussions began, waiting for the perfect opportunity to swoop in. For fans, it almost feels like a dramatic betrayal, as if Porter was already halfway out the door, even while wearing Bucks colors. The emotional whiplash of imagining him in green and cream one moment, and then in gold and purple the next, has fueled heated debates across forums, podcasts, and social media platforms. Whether it's smoke and mirrors or the start of a blockbuster twist, the timing could not be more dramatic. The potential fit between Porter Jr. and the Lakers raises plenty of questions, but it also ignites imagination about what this team could become. Picture this: LeBron orchestrating from the high post, Anthony Davis demanding attention inside, and Porter slashing from the wing with defenders scrambling to keep up. That kind of dynamic gives Los Angeles something they've often lacked: youthful explosiveness paired with fearless shot-making. Porter has always thrived in chaotic situations, and playing alongside seasoned veterans could finally give him the structure and accountability to refine his game. Some scouts have long believed that with the right mentorship and system, Porter could blossom into a borderline all-star, someone capable of averaging close to 20 points per night with efficiency. The Lakers have been looking for a piece that bridges the gap between established superstars and young contributors, and this rumor suggests they may have found exactly that. Of course, there's also the question of whether Porter is ready for the pressure cooker environment of Los Angeles, where every move is dissected, every shot analyzed, and every mistake magnified. Yet, history shows that stars either sink or shine brighter under those lights. Fans on both sides are reacting in ways that show just how polarizing Kevin Porter Jr. has become. Bucks supporters feel blindsided, wondering why a player they believed in might already be slipping away before making an impact. They see this as yet another example of Milwaukee struggling to hold onto intriguing young talent, and some blame the front office for not giving him a clear role. Lakers fans, on the other hand, are buzzing with cautious optimism. They know Porter's history, the ups and downs, the stories of immaturity, but they also know what happens when raw talent is polished in the right environment. For them, the gamble is worth it, especially if it means adding depth behind their aging stars. Social media has become a battlefield, with highlight clips, stats, and bold predictions flying from both fan bases. The narrative is no longer just about whether Porter can play. It's about whether he can transform perception. If this move becomes reality, it won't just reshape the Lakers' rotation. It will reshape how Porter himself is remembered in the league. Behind the scenes, the Lakers' front office has built a reputation for striking deals that seem improbable until they happen. The Russell Westbrook saga, the Anthony Davis trade, and even role-player acquisitions like Rui Hachimura all share a common theme: boldness. Adding Porter Jr. would continue that legacy of swinging big, betting on talent, and trusting that the Lakers' ecosystem can manage the risks. Insiders suggest that Porter's camp has been eager to find a fresh environment, one where his style isn't restricted and where he has the freedom to prove himself. Los Angeles, with its glitz, constant media coverage, and global fan base, offers both an opportunity and a challenge. The question becomes whether the Lakers see him as a long-term project or a short-term spark. Either way, whispers indicate that discussions are farther along than casual fans realize. What makes this rumor captivating is not just the potential signing, but the symbolism. Once again, the Lakers could be taking a player dismissed by many and putting him in a position to shock the league. It's a gamble, but one perfectly aligned with the franchise's DNA. The basketball fit is intriguing, but the storyline is even richer when viewed through the lens of reputation. Porter's career has often been defined more by headlines off the court than highlights on it. Critics doubt his discipline, question his consistency, and worry about his ability to buy into a team-first culture. Yet, for every critic, there's a believer who sees in him the spark of a future star waiting for the right conditions to ignite. The Lakers, with their history of taking chances on flawed but talented individuals, represent the perfect laboratory for such an experiment. Imagine the mentorship he could receive from LeBron, who has guided countless young players toward maturity, or the discipline that playing alongside Anthony Davis demands. In many ways, this could be Porter's ultimate redemption arc, a chance to silence doubts and rewrite his story on the grandest stage. The rumor might feel like gossip now, but if it materializes, it has the potential to be one of those moves people look back on years later as the turning point of a career. For Porter, the Lakers represent both the risk of failure and the possibility of immortality. And so, the speculation grows louder by the day, with every tweet, podcast, and insider report adding fuel to the fire. No official statement has been made, no jersey has been revealed, but the momentum of the conversation is undeniable. The idea of Kevin Porter Jr. donning the Lakers uniform has captured imaginations, whether in excitement or skepticism. It's the kind of rumor that thrives in the NBA landscape, where possibilities become headlines and whispers carry the weight of reality. What makes it irresistible is the drama. A player with a turbulent past finding himself linked to the most glamorous franchise in sports. Whether you believe it's a masterstroke or a disaster waiting to happen, you can't look away. The Lakers thrive on spectacle, and Porter's potential arrival is nothing short of theatrical. Until something is made official, all anyone can do is watch the rumor mill spin faster, speculate about lineups, and argue about legacies. One thing's for certain: if Kevin Porter Jr. truly becomes the newest Laker, the league won't just take notice. It will stop and stare, wondering how such a twist came to be. Part 2. The whispers around Kevin Porter Jr. and the Los Angeles Lakers are no longer just faint background noise. They're starting to sound like a drumbeat, steady, and impossible to ignore. Every major sports outlet seems to be running with the same storyline, even if cautiously framed as speculation, and insiders are hinting that talks have advanced further than most people think. The Lakers' decision-making has always leaned toward dramatic flair, and adding Porter would fit that pattern perfectly. It isn't only about his on-court production. It's about the spectacle, the attention, and the possibility of turning controversy into triumph. For the Lakers, perception is currency, and bringing in Porter could signal to the league that they are once again unafraid of bold moves. Fans are already debating how he would slot into the lineup, whether he'd start alongside LeBron and Davis or serve as an explosive sixth man. The uncertainty only fuels the buzz, and the closer we get to an official word, the more it feels like the line between rumor and reality is blurring. In Los Angeles, stories like this rarely fade quietly. They either explode into truth or linger as myths that fans discuss for years. Consider the potential impact on the Lakers' rotation, and suddenly the rumor takes on an even deeper layer of intrigue. The team has long sought additional scoring options beyond their top two stars, and Porter represents exactly the kind of high-risk, high-reward talent that can swing playoff series. His ability to handle the ball, initiate offense, and create shots in isolation could relieve pressure from LeBron, especially in critical moments when defenses tighten. Imagine a scenario where the opposition focuses all attention on LeBron and Davis, only for Porter to emerge as the surprise assassin, hitting contested jumpers and driving past defenders with reckless abandon. That unpredictability is priceless in a playoff atmosphere where every possession counts. Of course, skeptics argue that the Lakers already have enough personalities and don't need another wild card added to the mix. But that argument has never stopped the franchise before. Time and again, they have proven willing to gamble if it means a chance at greatness. And for Porter, the chance to prove himself in that crucible could either define or derail his career in ways no other situation could. Beyond basketball, there's also the cultural and symbolic weight of such a move. The Lakers are not just a basketball team. They are a global brand, a cultural phenomenon that transcends sports. To become a Laker is to step into a spotlight brighter than most players will ever experience. For Kevin Porter Jr., this means the chance to redefine himself not just as a scorer or a talented young guard, but as a story of redemption and reinvention. Fans love narratives of second chances, of players overcoming obstacles and proving doubters wrong, and Porter's journey fits neatly into that arc. The question becomes whether he is ready to embrace the discipline, media scrutiny, and relentless attention that comes with the purple and gold. Los Angeles is not a forgiving market, but it is one that rewards success with adoration and legacy. If Porter thrives, he won't just be remembered as a player who bounced around teams. He could cement himself as part of one of the NBA's most storied franchises. That possibility alone makes this rumor electrifying, because the stakes feel larger than basketball. They feel almost cinematic. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, the dynamics with the existing Lakers roster add yet another fascinating twist. How would Porter's style mesh with players like Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, or Rui Hachimura? Would his presence shift rotations, forcing others into reduced roles, or would it elevate the team's overall competitiveness? Coaches often talk about the importance of good problems, and this would be exactly that. Having too much talent, too many capable ball handlers, is a challenge every coach secretly wishes to face. Still, personalities matter, and chemistry can make or break a season. Porter has to prove he can buy into a team-first mentality, that he can sacrifice for the greater good while still showcasing his skills. If he can, the Lakers suddenly look deeper, younger, and more versatile than they did before. If not, the experiment could unravel quickly. This uncertainty is what makes the rumors so compelling. It's not just about fit on paper, but about human dynamics, ego management, and the delicate balance of ambition and sacrifice. In Los Angeles, where the spotlight is constant, every interaction will be magnified, and Porter's response will shape both perception and results. For Milwaukee, this story is equally dramatic because it raises uncomfortable questions about how a promising partnership unraveled so quickly. Bucks fans had barely begun to imagine Porter in their system, playing off Giannis and Lillard, before whispers of discontent began to spread. The idea that Los Angeles might swoop in so soon feels like a gut punch, almost as if the franchise never had full control of the situation. It also sparks debates about player empowerment, the nature of loyalty, and how quickly narratives can shift in the modern NBA. If Porter does end up with the Lakers, Milwaukee's front office will face criticism for either mismanaging the relationship or failing to lock down his commitment. Meanwhile, Lakers fans will likely gloat, celebrating yet another high-profile addition while rivals scramble to explain how they missed out. The crossfire between fan bases adds fuel to an already fiery rumor, turning it into more than just a basketball discussion. It becomes a reflection of how the NBA operates in this era. Fast-moving, personality-driven, and filled with drama that often feels scripted, even when it isn't. The possibility of Porter joining the Lakers also highlights the broader landscape of the Western Conference. Every team is looking for an edge, a piece that can tilt the balance in their favor, and this move would certainly qualify as bold. Imagine the Lakers squaring off against contenders like the Nuggets, Warriors, or Clippers with Porter as an added weapon. Suddenly, matchups become more complex, scouting reports grow longer, and opponents are forced to prepare for a wild card they hadn't accounted for. In a league where margins are razor-thin, that kind of unpredictability can be invaluable. Of course, the West is unforgiving, and talent alone doesn't guarantee success. Porter would have to quickly adapt to the Lakers system, earn trust from teammates, and prove he can deliver in high-stakes moments. But if he does, the Lakers could transform from a team fighting for seeding into a squad capable of shocking anyone in a 7-game series. The potential ripple effects of this rumor are enormous, and that's why it continues to dominate conversation among analysts, fans, and insiders alike. What cannot be ignored is the psychological aspect of this rumored move. Porter has faced setbacks, criticisms, and doubts throughout his career, and this would be his most significant test yet. Playing for the Lakers is unlike playing for any other franchise. The expectations are relentless, the pressure is suffocating, and the margin for error is slim. Yet for some players, that environment brings out their very best. The possibility that Porter could thrive in such a setting is what excites believers, while skeptics see it as a recipe for disaster. Either way, the narrative is compelling. It's the story of a talented but polarizing player standing at a crossroads, with one path leading to obscurity and the other to redemption. Los Angeles represents both the dream and the danger, the promise of glory and the threat of collapse. It's that tension, that razor-thin line between success and failure, that makes this rumor more than just idle chatter. It feels like a test of destiny, and fans are glued to every new piece of information, waiting to see which way the story will turn. In the end, whether this rumor becomes reality or fades into speculation, it has already achieved something powerful. It has captured the imagination of the basketball world. Kevin Porter Jr. to the Lakers is a storyline that checks every box for drama, intrigue, and debate. It forces us to think about talent versus discipline, risk versus reward, redemption versus downfall. It reminds us why the NBA is more than just a game. It is a theater of stories, constantly unfolding, constantly surprising us. If Porter does put on that Lakers jersey, the league will erupt with reactions, and every game will be scrutinized as part of his evolving saga. If he doesn't, the rumor itself will linger as a what-if, a tantalizing glimpse of a world that almost existed. Either way, the conversation isn't going away anytime soon. And perhaps that's the real power of this moment. The ability of one rumor to ignite passion, divide opinion, and remind everyone why basketball is as much about narrative as it is about points and rebounds. The Kevin Porter Jr. story is still being written, and the Lakers chapter may be closer than anyone dared to imagine. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.